Hi guys and welcome to Safe Diving, where I talk about all things scuba diving. Now, regular followers of my channel will know that I dive twin cylinders primarily, and if you want to see my twin set, then you can check out this playlist where I basically cover all of my own dive gear setup. But for those of you who are just starting out and don't know the difference or sort of much about twin cylinders, in today's video I'm going to cover the good, the bad and the ugly when it comes to diving twin cylinders. So the first benefit of diving on twin cylinders is that you literally have twice as much breathing gas. Arguably, the most important resource when you're scuba diving is your air supply, and I'd rather have too much than not enough. Diving with two cylinders means that you have so much more air than you were used to from diving singles, and that gives you two benefits depending on your diving. You can either take on one really long scuba dive because you've doubled your range, or you can go on two single dives without having to faff around in between swapping tanks and regulators like all of your buddies are. At the end of dive 1, you already have enough gas for dive 2, so you don't have to depressurize your regs, pull off your BCD and swap over the tank and then reassemble your gear because you're just ready to go from the get-go. A downside to this is that you need to learn about decompression and shift your knowledge of gas management. Having twice as much gas now means that you can go down for longer, or you can go down even deeper. Obviously you need appropriate training first. Don't just strap on two cylinders and then off you go, because you need some understanding of decompression, or at least going past your NDL. Your no decompression limit shouldn't be a scary thing as long as you understand what it means. But now that you can stay down under twice as long or go down even deeper, then you should need to do some learning so that you can use your twins responsibly. Twin cylinders allow you better redundancy and safety. Diving on a single cylinder with a single valve means that you can fit one regulator to it. If something goes wrong with that one valve or the first stage, then you need to get to your buddy to get you back to the surface safely. With twin cylinders, each side is a redundant backup of one another. You have two tanks now and two first stages, and off of each of them you have a second stage that you can breathe from. You have a low pressure inflator for your BCD or your dry suit. That way, if you set up your regulators properly and something goes wrong with one of them, then you can still breathe and you can still control your buoyancy from the other. If a hose ruptures, then you can literally switch that valve off and still breathe from the other. Most twins have an isolator manifold in between connecting the two cylinders so that you can breathe from both tanks at the same time normally, but then close that valve and then isolate the two tanks from one another. So you're literally backing yourself up. The downside to this is that at first it feels quite complicated and you obviously need to invest in more equipment to build a complete twin setup. Your isolator valve also means that you can get a short fill if you're not really paying attention. Taking your twins to a filling station and forgetting to open up that isolator valve can mean that only one cylinder actually gets filled. Twin cylinders are also heavy. They are super heavy, almost twice as heavy as a single tank, some might say. But this is both a benefit and a downside as well. It sucks because moving them around on dry land just sucks, and you can really screw up your back if you try to pick them up wrong. However, as my wise friend Dangerous Dave used to say, I'd rather take down more air than lead. The extra weight of your twin cylinders will act as negative buoyancy, so you can strip off some lead off of your weight belt. Lead does one thing, and all it does is make you sink. And personally, I'd rather bring down more gas that I can breathe than lead that just makes you sink. You now need to think about your buoyancy a bit more properly. Most recreational BCDs are made for single cylinder diving. They often post their buoyancy in the specs page of the BCD, but it honestly doesn't matter all that much. Recreational BCDs are made for singles and have enough lift for pretty much any standard size single cylinder. Some do have enough lift for twin cylinders, but it's really not what they're made for. I often get asked for a standard BCD that does singles, twins, and sometimes even side mount, but if you want to dive twins properly, then you're going to need to invest in a proper backplate and harness setup. Now, you can go for a more recreational style harness if you prefer, but you're going to need a solid backplate to literally bolt your twins onto them. But when you're all kitted up on twins and you get in the water, two things happen. You get a better sensation of solidarity because your tanks are literally more solid on your back and they move with you properly. That and every other diver and person around who sees you thinks that you are now the coolest person on the planet. Okay, so here are the pros and the cons, as well as all the other things that I could think of, like the cost of servicing. But as you all know, basically, I chose to dive on twins. I just like how strong they feel in the water. But what do you guys think? Do you dive twins, or are you thinking about it? In next week's video, I'm going to be doing the same type of video for side mount diving, because they're basically two sides of the same coin. You're diving with two tanks, but they have their own pros and cons. So if you want to know more, then subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for when that goes live. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video. On my channel, I upload videos on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, all about how to be a better scuba diver. Now, I've been working in and around the diving industry for quite a long time now, and I have a lot of advice that I can help you out with. So if you need any help or advice with your diving, just let me know in the comments below and subscribe to my channel, and I'll probably make a video about it to help you out. So, if you want to, you can click here to check out one of my latest videos on how to upgrade your equipment and your diving as well, and then click here to check one of my scuba diving advice videos. Thank you for watching, and of course, safe diving.